Alright, this video is just going to be like my thoughts on the beta testing for the scaling. And I do all 3 runs. I do their new beta test scaling. So our CR goes up and the enemies are going to get closer to match it. But they're not even close. There's a 62 difference. Even though it is I'm 515, I'm still 517. And it's going based off my 517 scale, which is my tank. So it's a 62 difference between this and 455. So it's even more than what the current scaling is when you were to go into it, because what are you, like 15 or 20 off of the current scaling? So you're still going to be higher in the new beta testing if this is what they're going to implement, that much of a difference, which I don't mind. You know, you're still running the same content. And this beta test scaling right now, this run is perfectly fine for me. I sped it up. It took me 250 on the clock, but that's because I came here with no supercharge and I'm berserk. So, well, I'm rage and I need berserk. But I came here with no supercharge. I just wanted to see how it was. I didn't care when I logged in. I didn't even want to build it up. I'm like, let me just go right into it. And I wasn't even running my full loadout. I didn't even switch to my second loadout. So I just ran my AoE main loadout without going to the second loadout itself. And I never went single target once. So, you know, the scaling, to me, the scaling's fine. The new way they want to scale things. I don't mind this. The next run I do is unscaled. So that means no stat clamp. That means I'm fucking 517 versus whatever CR this shit is, which is fine with me, because 5, 6, 7 years ago, whenever they did the stat clamp, it should have never been implemented. That was probably one of the worst decisions that they ever made, in my opinion. And I know this is not these developers. It's completely different developers that did this. Did that, I mean, because at least I'm pretty sure it is, because as far as I know, like, this is a whole new team the last 2 years. So even the creative director, Al Rivera, if I'm not mistaken, is his name. I'm not gonna lie, I think the last year of DC has been pretty consistent in terms of adding new things, DLCs, and obviously they're gonna say, you know, getting rid of stat clamp is new to them, or that's how they justify it on their end. But they're basically just reverting a mistake that the past team had made, because when this shit happened, nobody wanted it. It makes no sense. Like, when you're playing any game, especially an MMO, you don't want to go back into content that's fucking 10, 15 years old and only be 15 CRs higher than the enemies. Like, it's not fun. And the fact that they're going to leave it so you can power scale with the new beta, I'm sure they'll be implementing maybe the next DLC or in the summer, who knows, like July, August, I don't know. I have no time for that. I'm just guessing here. But also, at some point, they're going to allow all of us to private queue into no stat clamp. So that means even with their beta system that they're going to implement at some point, they're still going to allow us to no stat clamp this game the way it should have been the whole time, because it makes no sense. And I don't mind having 2 systems, the beta scaling. I mean, well, I'm calling it beta scaling. I don't know what they're going to end up calling it, the new scale system, and then also having the no stat clamp system, because that's perfectly fine. And, you know, when this happened, when the stat clamp happened like 5, 6, 7 years ago, there were people that quit the game over it, because why are we being stat clamped? Even I know people that had 200 arts at the time, you know, that quit the game. And there's been a lot of times where people quit the game for a lot of good decisions, but this could actually be a decision that they make where people might come back to the game, because usually some people are real hard-headed. When they make a bad decision, they've quit the game for good, they don't come back. I've had breaks over the years, 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, 2 years, but I always come back to the game. So, you know, this might be a decision that people are like, all right, now I can fucking go back and into the older content, the 10, 15-year content that they missed, and go get their feats, because now they're not stat clamped in it. Because who wants to play an MMO and be stat clamped? You want to feel like you're strong still. And now they're going to give us the option in private queue. And I'm saying now, but at some point, whenever this is implemented, that we'll be able to shut off stat clamp. So, in my opinion, W move by the developers, because, you know, I think they've been making, for the most part, good decisions in terms of the game. And, you know, I mean, like that with releasing the blue and the white lantern rings, iconic powers that you can, you know, get, the iconic superchargers, because, all right, they're not giving us new powers, but they're giving us new slot powers instead, if that is the right terminology for it, which the previous development team told us they couldn't do shit with the code because it was so old. And we were told that for almost since COVID. From COVID to like 2024, 2025, we were told that they can't do anything, that this is it for the game. And, you know, in the last year or two, we got new developers that are actually trying. So I think they can, you know, they deserve some credit, because the previous team that was here was just like, fuck this game. We're here for a paycheck. We'll run it, and that's all we're doing. We'll maintain it, but we won't grow it. And this development team is actually growing the game. You know, all these events and patrols, and they at least semi better than, they're 50% better than the last development team with giving us information in a timely manner. 50% better than 100%. They would tell us, you know, weeks to months in advance. They do it like 2 days, a week before, maybe the day before. The other development team fucking never did anything the day before, so I'll give them a 50% better. They need to fix the lag that every time I play in the last, you know, month and a half, really, because I haven't been playing that much because of the games, you know, the DLC's at a dead point, real life bullshit going on, but every time I play, there's like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of straight up lag. You know, you can't talk to a vendor, you can't do anything, everybody's typing lag in the chat, and then it goes away, and it might come back. But other than that, you know, Obviously, I like this game. I want it to continue on, so I think this is a good decision. I think they've been making, for the most part, good decisions. They've been releasing quality stuff, pricey if you got to buy it. If you got the time to earn it, which is if you only log in just to do the event, it really don't take that long. And or events, even if you're not running old content, you can just log in once a day and run something for 2 minutes. The open world bosses on 3 different characters, and you're done. You get all your event shit done for everything. Fucking. So I don't have a problem with all these systems they've implemented. Some people do. I don't. Price is too high for them if you're just buying it. Should be at least half of what it is. Really, $10 each, in my opinion, because then more people would just buy it out than fucking. And then the people that don't have it, they can buy it out. They're doing an extension system too, which is good for people that now want the stuff that they couldn't earn or buy at the time. Good decisions. This is a good decision. I think if they continue on this track and not hate the community like every developer starts to hate the community for some reason. I get it, we're a picky community, but we're the ones paying to play this game. Like, it might be free to play, but our money and time is being invested into it. Mainly money and then time. Some people just time and money, but it's a combination of both for everybody. So, you got to listen to the community as a developer. I'm not saying you got to listen to our thoughts and our objections or what we think is, always right. But we do, as a community, knew the whole fucking time that the stack clamp shit needed to go. So, and this is a big decision you guys are making to do. So, apparently, the community knows, in terms of being long-term, what we need and want. I'm not saying everything we're going to suggest is right, but this was, like, one of the big ones so far over the last 5, 6, 7 years that were made, and we knew it needed to be changed. So, good thing that it's going to happen at some point for private queue. I really think that's it, really, honestly. There's other things I could talk about, but this was mainly just supposed to be about the stack clamp. I think I've got my point across about it. I don't write scripts. I just talk, I ramble. Whatever I say comes to mind. So you're going to get better people to watch for their opinions. They're more, they got a script they can go by. I do edits and cuts in, but I still, no script. It's just, I listen to it back and I fucking shut it off. I shut it off, I erase it, and I'm like, all right, let me rephrase this 25 times.